Hey everyone, it's Sleepy Reader, aka Damien, and I'm here with a haul video, a big stack of comics. I don't know if I'll get through all of them in this video because I like to take my time, but it's been a while. I've been building up and building up more comics and keep meaning to do a haul. Every week when I pick up my new comics, I also pick up a few old comics, and then sometimes I go off to other stores and buy other comics, and then my regular uh, store that I keep my pull list at, my backup store, for instance, Excalibur Comics often is a great place to get old comic books. And sometimes I break down and I order things from mycomicshop.com and perhaps other places. So I keep building up and building up more back issues. I keep meaning to do some more hauls, and I seem to put them off. So I have a lot of material I can go through on, that I want to go through on hauls. So there'll probably be more, I hope. But this one is dedicated to three YouTubers because what's in my stack makes me think of them, and I always enjoy their videos. And that is Shannon, Solid ST Bend, and the Greyman, who collects only back issues, as do many people, and whose channel I love. And then silver-haired Bronze Age babe, chick. I've forgotten. Silver-haired Bronze Age babe, I think. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna have some coffee, some very expensive canned latte. I've given up sweets and sugary things. This has a little bit of sugar in it. So this is about the sweetest thing I allow myself to have anymore. So it's a big treat for me. The battle of old age. I think I picked this up in like a $1 or $2 bin. Rima the Jungle Girl, unless I already took it out of its bag. Love that cover. I think it's Joe Kubert, DC from the mid 70s. Rima number 6. I think this may be my first Rima the Jungle Girl. And as I recall, the art on the inside looks really nice. A lot of these ones have layouts that remind me, that seem very Joe Kubert inspired. This is not Joe Kubert on the inside. Does it say? Where are the credits? Oh, Nestor Redondo. Oh, he's a great artist. I assume one of the Filipino artists, perhaps best well known or doomed for having taken over from Bernie Wrightston on the Swamp Thing. But excellent artist in his own right. I do wonder if some of these artists on some of these titles, maybe these were titles edited by Joe Kubert. Did he give them layout tips, or did he actually give them layouts to work with? Might just be my imagination. But particularly those opening spreads seem the standard Joe Kubert approach to these kinds of comics, and it's a very effective approach. So excited for that. And I'm not sure who put me on to the idea of these sports comics. Was that Shannon or was that someone else? I can't remember now. But I got this one cheap. Someone named Lou wrote his name on it. And it looks like it's all by Joe Simon and Jerry Garandetti. I never know how to say his last name. Grandendetti, who is an artist that you see here and there in DC in the Bronze Age or the late Silver Age. I think he's the one who did Prez, and I kind of get a kick out of his art style. I believe, maybe I have the wrong person, but I believe that he worked with Will Eisner on The Spirit at some point in his career. So anyway, that's kind of fun, little obscurity that I didn't know about until watching someone's YouTube channel. Speaking of Joe Kubert, I picked up Weird War Tales, The Mystery and the Madness of Weird War Tales. Oh, it's still got the tape on it. Whenever I can, I just get rid of the tape. I do not use tape. I've got a little pile of tape on the edge of my desk there that I've removed. I'm assuming this won't be Joe Kubert on the inside either. No credits that I can see right away. Old Soldiers Never Die. I can't see a credit. This probably has a bunch of short stories in it. Here's one by script by Sheldon Mayer, art by Alfredo Alcala. Didn't really know he got involved in the war comics. Looks like it's on the set of a movie, though, maybe. Sheldon Mayer, isn't that name go way back? I didn't know he was still doing comics in the Bronze Age. You're 700 after the bomb. Huh. Well, it's a weird war tale, I guess. I'm going to just keep the bag off of it for now and find some other bag for it. And speaking of the Swamp Thing, I think this is a Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing, which I picked up for, some small amount of money, so it's probably damaged on the inside or something. From my regular shop, Cloud9 Comics. So every week I go in, and right on the counter, I get my new comics. Right on the counter are 3 boxes with new back issues, and I'll search through those and pick up ones that interest me, that prices aren't too high. So this looks in fine condition. I'm not sure what price I got it for, but I wouldn't have picked it up unless it was pretty cheap. Len Wein, Bernie Wrightson, and Joe Orlando, editor, of course. Yeah. So that's cool. I have all of these in an omnibus, but I still want to collect the Bernie Wrightson issues where I can. Maybe I should put that back in the bag. So here is Battle Classics, Suicide Mission. I assume when it says Battle Classics, that means it's reprints. Another Joe Kubert cover, and some Joe Kubert interior. Joe Kubert is definitely one of the great cover artists, but I am sad that he didn't get to do more interiors, especially once he reached his artistic peak. This looks like earlier Joe Kubert, which is still great stuff. Here's one. It's part of the same thing. That's some Suicide Mission. So anyway, I'll have to look at that closer. And then another war comic. This one feels in really nice shape, but did I get it out of the... I guess it's not as old of a comic. It's from the Crisis era, $1.25. It feels kind of thick. 50th anniversary of DC Comics. So it's got a Joe Kubert cover, but not interiors. The Losers Die Twice. Created and written by Richard Kanigher. Art by Judith Hunt, Sam Glasman, and Mike Esposito. Interesting. Sam Glasman is famous for his autobiographical military comics, but I know he was around doing a lot of different stuff. I think he did some kind of jungle Tarzan type comics too. But I don't even recognize the name Judith Hunt. There was an inker with David Hunt, I think. I wonder if there's any relationship there. Okay, then one of my ongoing things I'm collecting is Jack Kirby Marvel covers from the 70s. When he went back to Marvel, he did a lot of covers. And it was kind of a way to see that updated mid-70s style, Jack Kirby style, on a bunch of superheroes that he had done in the past. So I get a kick out of that. So it's one of the things I'm collecting is just any cover that Jack Kirby did. I think are they all from about 74, 75, and then he left Marvel again. So I got that Avengers. Oh, here's one with a Gil Kane cover. And then, but the main thing I was doing was, although I love the Avengers, so I'll probably actually read these, despite just having collected the covers. Love that cover. There's just something... It's got the Kirby zing, but a little more Kirby wackiness in the 70s than his 60s covers. Okay, and here's when I was collecting all these, and then when I thought about doing a haul, or actually I saw a Gray Man haul where he showed a whole bunch of Jimmy Olsens he got, and I got a whole bunch of Jimmy Olsens and even more beloved to me, Lois Lane's. So that made me think, I think this is a pretty famous cover. There's a number of covers with Giant Jimmy or Jimmy Turtle Man on the cover. Definitely like this cover. This is Jimmy Olsen number 77. Hey, my computer decided to go to sleep while I'm filming a film. Does that make sense? I think I read this one before. It looks familiar. 1970. Number 79. I wonder if I read this as a reprint in a later one of those giant ones. Red-headed Beetle of 1000 BC. Because you kids, you just love the Beatles. Great Krypton. Jimmy has started a Beatle craze here in the ancient past. He's becoming as popular as Ringo. And all these, ancient Greek chicks are saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. And here we've got, love it when Superman becomes the devil. Demons from Pandora's Box. Come on, evil friends, and plague all mankind. First I'll destroy my friends, Jimmy Olsen and Lana Lang. We're doomed. Those diabolical creatures I freed from Pandora's Box have turned Superman into a super demon. So, yeah, that happens all the time. Jimmy, you're wasting away and living in that glass prison on bread and water. Come out and eat this super meal. No, Superman, I swore to my dad that I'd stay here for a year, and I must stick it out for him. I presume that's Mr. Olsen Sr. The Secret of Olsen's Father. Now, at what point did Jimmy Olsen become really rich? Was he really rich back then? I know in the most recent Jimmy Olsen miniseries, he was presented as being really rich from a family whose roots go back throughout the history of Metropolis as one of the founding super rich families of Metropolis. And number 103, still 12 cents. Confess, you killed Clark Kent, Jimmy. I found these clothes in the sea. Now what did you do with his body? Superman knows I'm guilty. I'll have to kill him too with this special gamma weapon. Superman's alive and Clark Kent's dead. I have to read this issue to find out. Okay, so now, for me, one of my favorite series to collect is Lois Lane. The wackiness of the Lois Lane comics pleases me the most of all these wacky Silver Age Superman family comics. I can't quite explain why, and they often have wonderful art by Kurt Schaffenberger. Is that a Kurt Schaffenberger cover? I would guess it is. I don't think you always get credits on the inside. They won't tell you who did the cover, of course. Sometimes you can see a signature. No, I don't see any signature there. I don't know if that's Kurt Schaffenberger or not. The cover looks like it. And of course, there's two stories. Lois Lane, Foreign Correspondent. I think it's the over-the-top emotionalness of all of this that particularly appeals to me. Plus the wackiness and the seeming cluelessness about real-life male and female relationships. And of course, sometimes the cluelessness about women with careers and all of that. It makes it amusing. It's interesting to think of because I know, in the 70s, when I was reading things as a kid, I was looking for clues, believe it or not, even in comics and definitely in books I was reading and TV shows I saw, clues of what life was to bring, what relationships with people would be like and all of that. So to think of all of this as being your guidepost. Here's Lois Lane number 57. Relax, Lois. You know an experiment turned Superman into a super top for a week. See what happened when I spanked him? You brat, this will fix you for the heartbreak you caused me when you grew up to be Superman. Ow, my hand. One of the things they often show is relationships are all about anger, which I suppose at least was true on the male side. Always feeling the women held the keys to love, and that you, when you were a teenager or pre-teenager, and that you were begging at the door of the female world, trying to get up your nerve to ask someone out on a date and then being rejected, possibly. but so I'm reversing the anger. There was, of course, the woman against the man. Lois Lane's anger against Superman for all the heartbreak. April 9th. This is number 73. Shock story of the year. Why is Lois lashing a wooden puppet of Superman? Read The Dummy and the Damsel. Let's look inside this one. This is a Go-Go Checks era. That looks like Kurt Schaffenberger to me. Oh, lacking a staple towards the middle. Again, I don't remember what I bought these for, but these were always the cheaper ones. If the more expensive ones I leave in the box and just wait to find all the issues at the relatively cheaper prices. Because they're reader copies for me. They're not collectibles, although in the sense of wanting the perfect copy. This one's called The Dummy and the Damsel. And what's the second story called? There's always a second story. To go to this page without the staple. Lois Lane's Fairy Godmother. Looks like an alien. And of course, all of these are trick stories where there's an explanation for things which is not what you, the reader, or Lois was expecting. This, I'm pretty sure, is a Neal Adams cover on Lois Lane number 81. Neal Adams did a huge number of covers at DC, often on comics that no collectors are not focused on anymore, like Tomahawk or Lois Lane. Let's see. Gasp! Superman snapped my air hose because I won't marry him. He's committing the perfect murder. No witnesses in outer space. So it's like love, they love you or they kill you. This is what was on the mind of these writers back then. Oh yeah, this one says K. Schaffenberger. He wrote his signature there. Just kind of classic. Schaffenberger has even though this is the 60s, to me kind of a perfect 50s kind of look to things. So nothing like that Neal Adams cover. How Lois Lane got her job, and no witnesses in outer space. Each one of these short stories will take you twice as long to read as a regular modern comic, or maybe even longer. Oh, that looks like Neal Adams also, I think. Or perhaps something where Neal Adams collaborated with another artist. I know there are some cases where Neal Adams just did the inks. Got it from Cloud9 again. I think at one point I bought a ton of Lois Lane. My shop must have bought a collection with a lot of Lois Lane in it. Who's the artist here? No signature. I don't think that's Kurt Schaffenberger this time. It looks familiar. I can't quite place my finger on who the artist is. This story's called Who is Lois Lane? And the backup story, The Last Days of Lois Lane. Is that a reprint? Or just by an artist with a more old-fashioned style? Oh, and of course you still got in the 60s and maybe early 70s little one-page or half-page gag strips thrown in, which I often suspect are from an even earlier era. Kind of pad out the comic. So that was Lois Lane number 84. This is 88. And it also looks Neal Adams-ish, I'm suspecting. It's almost like it's Neal Adams, but someone redrew the face. I don't know. Might be my imagination. You'll always be blind, Miss Lane, unless you undergo an immediate eye transplant. But you'll have to take the eyes of this executed murderer, the girl with the killer eyes. I feel like I've read that one. But I don't know. It's been chewed on. No wonder I got that cheaply. Looks like Jack Abel inking to me. How do I know that? I always feel like, yeah. It's the same artist in the last one who's not Schaffenberger, I don't think. Anyway, so that's 88, and then I've got 89. Yeah, so it looks like there's a whole period where at least Neil Adams or someone who drew like Neil Adams, or Neil Adams inking, maybe Dick Giordano inking. Oh, this one says Neil Adams cover on it. My shop owner hoping to sell it for more money. Funny he didn't notice the other ones were Neil Adams covers also. Lucky Bruce Wayne. Lois doesn't know he's Batman. She's marrying him for himself. Poor Superman. At least he's not angry and threatening to kill her. Featuring Lois as the bride of Batman. I feel like there are a number of stories where Lois ends up in a serious relationship with Bruce Wayne for a little while. She's not marrying him because he's Batman. She's marrying him because he's rich. No? What are these clothes she's wearing? The bride of Batman. Looks like some Greek lingerie. I'm the luckiest woman in the world to have Batman as my husband and Batman Jr. as my son. What a fool I was. If I hadn't bobbled the ball, Lois would be Mrs. Superman, and that handsome lad would be Superman Jr. But it's too late for regrets. Maybe that handsome lad is Superman Jr.? If Lois got pregnant from Superman and then married Batman. Okay. This also might be Neil Adams. I'm kind of obsessed with finding the Neil Adams things, but then I'm not totally confident. But this figure here looks like could have been drawn by someone else, but this one has what I think of as a distinctive Neil Adams look, the way the legs are done and the hands and the arms and the whole torso there. This is number 92. Great Krypton, a magic spell has turned Lois into a centaur. She'll never be human again. The unbreakable spell. Oh, and here's one of those reprint issues, a giant Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. But these are always a great bargain. It's featuring the strange lives of Lois Lane. Lois Lane's super brain. Lois the slave girl. Madame Jekyll. Lois Lane Hag. The Widow in Black. The Superwoman of Metropolis. Is that? It looks like Supergirl with the blonde hair. It looks like Kara Zor-El. But is that Lois? Maybe they miscolored it because it is kind of maybe a Lois haircut. Well, here we are back again with what I know. Maybe this is not. This could be someone else, Murphy Anderson or someone. See, Superman, with these magic shears, I can even cut your invulnerable hair. Lois, no, you've been duped. You duped me just like Delilah did Samson. You've robbed me of my superpowers. I guess Delilah and Samson is kind of your model relationship for comics. The betrayal and love that leads to hatred. Featuring I Betrayed Superman. Now we're in the 15-cent zone, number 98. So this must be 69.70. Number 100. They don't even make a big deal out of it. Imagine what they do now if issue 100, if any comic made it to issue 100. Lois Lane's Last Mile. She's in the electric chair maybe? Oh, polygraph. The lie detector's needle jumped like crazy. She's lying in her teeth. She'll be executed. No, I'm innocent. I guess she killed Lana Lang. Wonder how many times she's killed Lana Lang. Oh, and now I love this because, the Catholic boy in me's got to love the devil. Shades of Satan. Lois has turned into a demon. Look whom she's marrying. By the infernal power of Hades, I take you, Lois, as my wife. The Devil's Bride. I'm guessing this will be one that does not go into a long visit to hell, but that would be fun. Can't tell who the artist is. Don't see any signature. Looks like Lois has died. Oh, she comes back. She's on an altar, and she comes back with little devil horns. Cool. looks like there's an honest romance with Satan there. I'll have to read this one soon. Lois, the second one is The Fantastic Wigs of Mr. Dupree. I make fun of it and everything, but I got to hand it to the endless imagination and inventiveness. Well, my video app crashed, so I'm back with this non-edited continuation. I was saying that part of what I love is just all the imagination that goes into all these stories. One story in in the same comic book, she's marrying the devil, and the other one she's in a story about magic wigs. And it just goes on and on. They just inventively, within this formula that repeats, they keep coming up with some new wild and crazy thing that will all be explained away at the end and returned to normal by the end of the 10-page story. And that there's something amazing about that it tends to continue to entertain me. Started out buying Lois Lane's to read with my daughter, but now I buy them for myself. I still sometimes read them with my daughter, or she reads them, and she gets the silly, goofy sense of humor about them too. Now we're all the way up into the 20-cent realm, which would be when I was busily buying comics, but I did not buy Lois Lane back then. But I don't view them as exotic once we get to 20 cents. Looks like someone wrote their name on here. Dirk, maybe, or Derek. Derek, probably. All new stories, best in comics. And it seems like maybe by now, this would be, 72 or 73, or maybe even 71. What's the date? Excuse me. 72. It seems like there was less of a wacky sense of humor. Their attempt to be a little more like Marvel, but it was an unenthusiastic attempt, took away some of their charm. Or maybe it's not that they were trying to be like Marvel, but the charm seems to be lesser by this point. Although it still looks like fun. Or the formula changed. Maybe the stories... it looks like there were two-part. Is there a Rose and Thorn story at the back? Well, that's kind of cool. And who's the art there? That's kind of some cool-looking art. Is there any... Don Heck. Don Heck, in my mind, was much better at DC than Marvel, for some reason. That's actually pretty good art on the main story. I don't know who it's by. That looks like a caricature of someone real, just the way it was drawn. The Hunters. Oh no, a Jungle Man. Let's see. Story by Carrie Bates, art by John Rosenberger and Vince Colletta. And actually nice inks by Vince Colletta, who's usually thought to be a bad inker, but I think it may have depended on the kind of artist he worked with. He's better on artists who work simpler than artists who work more complicated. I don't remember John Rosenberger. So I'm almost done here. Hopefully the video won't crash again. Lois Lane, number 127. Seems like there are a couple of comics where she's threatened by a shark and we see her underwater. I'm not sure. In this issue, Curse of the Flame, plus Rose and Thorn in Sea Devil. I found her boat, but where's Lois? It seems a little more serious. It's just Superman looking to rescue Lois. Does the nose of that shark look funny? And where is he about to bite her? This is kind of a cool cover. I'm Superman's girlfriend, but there's only time to save one of us. Which one? And an actual black person on the cover. That's a change. A Lois Lane special, A Serpent in Paradise, plus a surprise feature. This one has a date stamp, but you can't read it all. December 15th. Number 129. And number 130. I can't help what I'm doing. Oh no, Clark Kent is really Superman, and I destroyed him. Kind of, yeah. I stick with my feeling that by the time we get to the 20-cent issues, it's a bit of a less energetic recapitulation with less zaniness. Rose and Thorn in Nightmare Alley, but I'm glad whenever I find some Rose and Thorn. And I of course have to get all the Lois Lane eventually. Lois Lane 133, The Lady is a Bomb. And Wonder Woman gets in the act. That cover looks like it might be inked by Vince Coletta. Number 136. Now I know why Superman's marrying Wonder Woman instead of me. She just saved my life. They're a super team. So that's it. That's this haul. I hope to be back. I'll definitely be back with my comic book countdown and some other things, but I hope to more regularly do these comic book hauls because I've got a lot of stuff and I enjoy going through them on video and looking at them this way. So I should be back with this kind of thing again soon. Thanks for watching if you got all the way to the end, and catch you again soon. Bye-bye.